Hi, everyone. Henry DeVries with Agency Rainmaker TV. And this is where we help agency owners find right fit clients. We're talking advertising agencies, marketing agencies, digital marketing agencies. And we have a great guest with us today, Shawndel Spader. And Shawndel, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Will do. Thank you, Henry. I'm so grateful for being here. I appreciate you asking. And I am Shawndel Spader with the Spader Group, and we support service-based into oh my goodness, I'm sorry, service-based business owners and agency leaders to grow, scale, and honestly make sure that their numbers make sense. So we're on that financial side of supporting business owners.
They say there's only three subjects people are interested in: relationships, health, and money. So you're on that money topic. What do you do for these uh, these business owners?
Yeah. So again, we're looking for folks who they're looking to grow, right? They're looking to scale. They want to make sure that their financials are in order. The back of the house is in order, so that they're making decisions based on what's really happening from the health of their business. So, when we're working with a client, we're looking at where are they financially from are things available to learn from, right? If it's not, let's get it cleaned up. If we have that detail there, we want to make sure that those owners they understand what they're looking at. They know what it means. They can read the reports. They actually know what to do with it versus just having it available and ready for the IRS. And then, we want to help where we can come in and have those conversations and really help them lead like a CEO, right? We want to I don't want all of our CEOs, especially when we're working with agency owners or those who are more on the creative side, like I don't want them to live in spreadsheets at all. It's not their jam. It's definitely ours, but we want to make sense of it so that they can, feel that confidence back in their business, understanding where am I at? What am I creating? What am I doing here? And what does it all mean?
Was doing a book for somebody in this space, and I asked for their bio, and they gave me an Excel spreadsheet, and it had bars on where they were at certain times and all that. So that was one of those people who lived on a spreadsheet, but most agency owners don't. So I'm
Actually, if I ever
curious.
had to produce a resume, I might do it in a spreadsheet next time.
That might be fun. Um, QuickBooks, are you putting them on QuickBooks, or what are you putting them on as far as the
Yeah.
software?
Yep. We're utilizing QuickBooks Online. We every couple times a year we'll go and we'll research the other platforms that are out there just to make sure that QuickBooks Online is still really the one that we want to hang our hat on. And so far it still is. So um yeah, there's the other programs are good, but they're not QuickBooks. So that's where we're living.
I there's when I was running the agency, there was the pre-QuickBooks and post-QuickBooks. Is when
Right, right.
you really became a real business when you said, let's put this on QuickBooks and let's have a
Yes.
monthly report by the 15th of the month, and
Yep.
let's have a dashboard, and let's make decisions. Uh, the power is knowing the numbers. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about how you get clients. So how long have you been in business, and how many clients have you had, and ballpark, and then how do you find clients?
Yeah, so this summer we're going to be what I guess we're going to be a preteen. We're going to be 12 years old.
Wow.
Um
Okay.
so formally as we are now, we kicked off in 2014. And really, how do we go about getting clients? This entire business has been built on relationships. So it's been networking, it's been word of mouth, it's been excellent referrals from our amazing clients. Really just building those relationships, being transparent, and we like to lead authentically, and we want to lead we lead with education, right? So we want to make sure that everybody is on the same page, understands what's going on, and really diving in to the root of where we're at or where the company is at, the business is at.
Sure. And when you say you lead with education, how do you do that?
So it's going to be again when we're diving into those reports, right? So if a client is working with us, we're going to do the day-to-day pieces. We're going to come in, we're going to manage the QuickBooks, we're going to make sure that all the information is going in, it's sound, right? The transactions are accurate, the categories are accurate, so then our reports are accurate. once we get to that point, again, that's kind of where a lot of folks in our industry will stop and say, okay, here's your reports. This is, we'll see you next month kind of thing, or we'll do the same thing next month. That's really where we get to start leading with that educational piece. Now we want to go in and we want to have conversations about the financials. How did we get here? What does it mean? Where are we going from it? We also like to have those conversations of what are what's the CEO's goals or the company goals overall? Where are they going? Are they trying to double their revenue? Are they trying to cut their expenses? Are they working on both? What are those goals that they are working on, and how do the finances match up to that so that we're having an active conversation that's more proactive versus reactive in a, are you on track to meet the goals? Are you not? Are we seeing some red flags or yellow flags? In April, in talking about them in April, making changes in our behaviors or in our sales or spending habits or whatever it might be, right? If we're having that conversation in April, clearly that makes a much bigger difference come December when, we're out of time to make any changes. So it's having those conversations more proactively by really reading the reports, utilizing them, and then making sure we're sharing that information with our business owners.
Well put. So now let's get under the rainmaking hood. You say relationships, um, but I live by a truism that you know everyone you need to know, and it's not their job to remember that you exist. It's your job to
Right.
remind them on a regular basis that you exist. So, what are the
Right.
things that you do um,
Yeah.
to remind people that you exist?
Yeah. So, outside of your generalized, networking and, kind of being in all these different spaces, conferences, those kinds of things. One of the things that we've done that we felt was really in alignment with who we are and, how we approach things with that educational piece first. We have I'm being told I'm calling it a podcast now. It didn't start out as a podcast. It really just started out as a way to share information. But it has evolved over the last year. And we have what's called the CEO shift. And, that's one of the ways that we're putting ourselves out there in a different light. We're reaching folks in a different way. Had you told me a year ago I was going to sit here and tell you I had a podcast, that answer would have been absolutely not. But it's really been a lot of fun. It's been a great way to get us out there, get some awareness, and be able to just have a different approach with building those relationships, right? It's another talking point. It's another way that, we can not only show up for ourselves, but the folks that we're involved with, we get to highlight their brilliance and their offerings and, how they show up in the world to support and help folks as well. And, I guess I'm just a believer of, generosity, pays dividends, right? So I just love
Yeah.
that we get to do that in that space. So that's one of the outside of the networking pieces and asking clients for referrals and things. That's one of the more creative ways that we've come up with.
Well, I also know that you're part of call it an ecosystem, where uh, you can call it networking, but you have relationships with people who serve the same people you serve, but aren't
Yeah.
in competition. I know you've had me on
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
your podcast or whatever we call this thing, uh, this thing we denied we were ever going to do, but now we're doing it.
Right. Right.
So you're generous in shining a spotlight on others, uh, and then when it comes up that, oh, you need somebody for that to get the numbers right. It's just,
Mm.
I always say the four magic words in the English language are I know a guy, and that appeals to a woman too. It's also like when they call you dude or bro. I don't know if your children do that, but
Oh,
um,
yes.
I
They
think it's
try to get
like
away with it.
actor and chairperson. These are becoming non-gender terms. It's just
Right. Right.
guy.
Right.
So somebody who can help you in Chicago. You're up the road from that, but down in Chicago, they say
Mhm.
I got a guy, I got a guy, I got a numbers guy. Yeah,
Right.
so you can do that. So you do that. You attended my conference, and you were very
Yeah.
you were an active listener and participant at that
Oh,
conference.
thank you.
You weren't you weren't a wallflower. Um, you weren't in the back on your phone all the time. Um,
No.
but
I
you were,
love those
a lot of
opportunities.
people said they like to look at you when they were speaking because you gave them positive energy back. So
Oh,
that's important.
well, that was sweet.
Our
Well,
mutual friends over at Predictive ROI, they say you
yeah.
play all out, you play full out when you're there,
Mm,
and that's important.
well, thank you.
You don't just show
Yeah,
up.
it's
Um,
no, we try to dive in and really get to the root of it because again, like I don't I don't like to just go through the motions, right? I don't want my clients to just go through the motions. So we really want to lead, like I said earlier, right? Authentically, we want to show up, and that's one of them. I don't want to just go through the motions and just check the boxes. If that were the case, like our job would stop as soon as the reports are ready for the IRS, right? The IRS is important, don't get me wrong, but they are secondary in our focus because our focus is really helping that business owner, agency owner, CEO understand what's happening in their business so that they can make sound decisions that help them grow, help them scale, help their teams, help their clients, all of it.
Shawndel, true confession. I call them my friends at the IRS, and people thought I was being sarcastic. But
Mhm.
we hired the wrong tax attorney and CPA once,
Mm.
and the IRS let me read the 42-page indictment against them,
Oof,
and and uh, and then but they were just they stole money from us, but they also stole the money that we should have been giving to the IRS. So, but the IRS was so
right.
nice, and they go, "Oh, if you can't pay, give us a call, and we'll work something out." And
Yeah.
I said, "Why are you being so nice to me?" Because I always you fear the IRS. They go,
Right.
"Well, you didn't try to cheat the government.
Yep.
You were the victim of undeserved misfortune here, and you're trying to make it right. So, we're good." So
Yep.
yeah, this woman said, we don't want to put liens on people and
No.
file things. We just um, and that attitude was they've got to do their job because we all own this corporation called the United States of America, and we all own a share, and we all have to pay the expenses, and we get some of the benefits
Right.
too. Um, they're just the revenue collection department. They're not bad
Right.
people,
No, they're
but they
not. And
do
there's a
want
lot of
they do
really
want
great
two
humans.
things. Yeah,
Hmm.
my cousin worked for the IRS, a real good
Yeah.
person. But they want two things. They want accurate reporting, and they want your effort to be in compliance.
Yep.
I had,
Not
if I
unreasonable.
can tell a story,
Yeah.
no, I had one of my authors, very successful author, and he flew to San Diego from the East Coast, and he wanted to
Hmm.
see me. I'm in San Diego in California.
Yeah.
And so I came to his hotel and he's like, I need your help. I just, um, I screwed up and the money I was supposed to set aside, something happened to it. So, we're in early April. This money's going to be due and I can't pay them. And I said, unfortunately, I know exactly what you're going to do and I'm here to help. I said, so first off, how much are we talking? It says $30,000. I said, oh, we don't even need to talk to anybody. We can do this online. And the next thing
Yep.
is they're going to give you 120 days to pay. What happens if I can't do that? Well, then they'll give you longer and you'll sign
Right.
an
Right.
agreement. And every month, you'll pay money. Well, what
Hmm.
happens if there's some month I can't pay? Oh, you're going to call them up and tell them what's going on and they'll
Hmm.
give you more time. I said, well, this is going to cost me. I said, yes, less than a business loan will from Wells Fargo. They're the
Right.
best. They're the best lender you could ever have. So
Yeah.
anyway, but thank you for the noble work you do to keep
Oh,
people like
thank
me
you.
in line and on the right side there and know the numbers. Which I had hired you before I hired those people, who I hired to keep me out of trouble. And
Hmm.
honest to goodness, I asked because the federal person from the Justice Department said, "We believe you've been a victim." And I said, "Well, what would have happened if you didn't think I was a victim? We would have put you away for 7 years in a federal penitentiary. Do you have any other questions?" I said, "Nope, no questions. Sounds great. Glad to be
I
on
like
team
your decision.
compliance. What do you
Yes.
want me to
Yes.
do?" I said,
Right?
I said, do you want me to testify? I said, no, you're the smallest fish in the net. No, we don't need you. We got everything we need. You did
That's
read those
awesome.
42 pages, didn't you? Yes. So anyway, even if
Yeah.
bad things happen to good people, you need good financial people on your side to make sense of it and to get you out of trouble. Is there anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
No, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be here, Henry. Thank you. I'm grateful for what you do and that you're willing to share in a platform as well.
It's my pleasure. Our brand is generosity. And the more information we share and the more helpful we are, the luckier we get in business. Funny how that works. Okay, that's our show for
Right.
today. And until next time, make it rain.